While I'm working on the rest of these little mouseling miniatures for the playtest, Saya here is going to show us how movement works. Okay, so Saya's movement value is a D6, that's the M here, which means she can move 6 inches or less on an unobstructed horizontal move. Also, I'm going to cover actions in another video, but the thing you should know, and they make a note of it here, is that most actions have a move listed as a core part of the action, and as such, there's no pure move action. With the D6 movement factor, you don't have to roll the D6 in this case to see how many inches you would get. That happens with obstructing terrain. But if she has a D6 and there's nothing in her way, she just goes 6. And then she can also, if she wanted to turn while she was moving, she could do that too, as long as she didn't exceed 6 inches. Moving vertically, you use the character's nimbleness statistic, and in this case, Saya's is also a D6. So moving up a ladder, stairs, or climbing a rope or something like that, she can move up to 6 inches vertically as well.
Honestly, you know, I don't like climbing.
So here we see Saya in base contact with what the game classifies as a piece of difficult terrain, which means it has broken or irregular surface or represents water or vegetation. So in order for her to move now, she will have to roll her D6. Okay, so she gets a 2. That means she can move 2 inches through the terrain from where she is, which will get her to right about there. And that's going to be the end of that move. So what happens if Saya starts her move already in the difficult terrain? You roll the die again, and that would be the result, the distance the model can move, even if it reaches the edge of the difficult terrain and wants to keep moving in normal terrain. So if she started here, let's see what she would get. She got a 6. So she would be able to move, looks like 4 to the edge of the terrain and then keep going 2 more. Okay, so you're probably wondering now, what happens if she starts in open terrain and then moves to the difficult terrain? So normally with unobstructed movement, she has 6 inches. But right now, it looks like she is 3 inches. Yeah, 3 inches from the difficult terrain. So she gets to move her 3 inches of her normal 6. But then, now that she's reached the difficult terrain, she has to roll her die to see how much further she can go. She gets a 4. So since she's already moved 3, and she rolled a 4, she can move 1 more inch into the terrain, and that's it. So here Saya is faced with a low terrain feature, but it's still a problem because a model can move straight over a low terrain piece, which is no more than 2 inches wide, and which is no more than half the height of the moving model. In this case here, that wall is well over half the height of Saya. She's only 3/4 tall, and the wall's probably 1.25 inches at its highest point. So she will have to move up to it and then roll because it becomes difficult terrain. So just for grins, let's see how she does. She moves 4 to the wall, and that's part of her regular unobstructed move. And then now she's got to get over the wall. Let's see what she rolls. Oh, that's cocked. She only rolls a 2, so she's already moved 4. So I guess she's stuck there. In her next move, she's going to have to roll for getting over this difficult terrain. Both vertical sides are 2 2.5 inches and then another half. So it's basically 3 inches. So in order to climb up and over and down the other side, she's going to need to roll a 3. She only rolls a 1. So that means that she is only, you mark it like that. She's only 1 inch up this wall so far. She's having trouble getting over.
This is rubbish. Put that thing in dice jail.
All right, Saya, we'll swap out that blue die with this pretty green one here to match your outfit. So you're going to have to roll, you're 1 inch up. The wall we determined was 3, so you're going to need 2 inches to get to the other side. Let's see how you do now. Just made it. So she would make it to the other side of the wall, and she has to stay with in base contact with the wall. If she would have rolled better, then she could have kept moving unobstructed. Well, let's imagine Saya was on this roof, standing on top of that gargoyle or whatever, and she wanted to jump down, or she had to jump down for whatever reason. Basically jumping, you can jump down from a higher level to another or across a gap. You have to take a nimbleness roll off. So what you do is your roll off is going to be against the target, and the target for this particular instance is the distance jumped in inches. So let's see how far this jump would be for her. So it's a 3-inch jump. And a success means the character has landed safely, but may not move further, but may attack a model if they have landed in base-to-base contact. But a failure means the character fell and must cross off wound boxes equal to the height of the fall in inches. So you basically just roll. Oh no, Saya. Well, somehow Saya gets her foot caught, and she falls and wounds herself, which means on her sheet we'd have to mark off 3 wounds here because the height of the fall was 3 inches. Let's say Saya was running along the top of this wall, got to the edge there and wanted to try to jump across to that building. This looks like it's about 4 inches. Yeah, it's 4 inches. She rolls a 5, so she would just jump across and somehow acrobatically make that jump onto the gargoyle there. And the rule book also makes distinctions on other things like moving between models, which is the usual mechanism. There needs to be space between other models or between your other models and an obstruction. You can only do that if there's enough space for the base itself to pass through. Otherwise, the character has to move around. And then it details what counts as horizontal and vertical, and then a little bit of extra detail on combining horizontal and vertical movement. And that pretty much are the basics of movement in Burrows and Badgers. Thank you, Saya.